LEGO Horizon Adventures is here, and while it's safe to say the game isn't exactly busting at the seams with in-depth combat or hidden gameplay mechanics, there is still a lot of really cool things to find that aren't exactly spelled out for you. So let's talk about some tips and other things that the game doesn't really tell you. And thanks to the Guerrilla and Sony teams for providing me with an early review code so I could dive in and get this list to you as quickly as possible. But let's start with your skill tree and your ability to level up. Yeah, that's right, LEGO Horizon Adventures does actually have a skill tree and a leveling up system. Now, once you have access to Mother's Watch, the main settlement area of the game, you can access All Mother's Tree.
For some reason, I want to tell her all my problems and have her say everything is okay. Weird.
From there, you can see the various skills and abilities you'll have access to as you level up in the game. Now, the skill tree is linear, so you don't exactly get to pick and choose which abilities you get, but I feel like this is a nice little touch that helps give the game more of that RPG feel. And throughout the game, you also have the ability to swap out and play as different characters.
My turn?
And those characters have their own levels and skill trees as well. Now, from All Mother's Tree, you can also buy upgrades that give you access to different weapon power-ups and decently useful skills like increased health from berries. These skills are also upgradable, so you can spend more to make them even more powerful. These upgrades are completely missable, and I totally forgot about them until after I had finished the main story, so be sure to come back here often and check them out. But next up, let's talk about stealth.
All red grass. The ultimate camouflage.
If you're familiar with the Horizon series, you know that stealth is a major component of the game, so it's nice to see that this was carried over into LEGO Horizon Adventures. Sort of. In the various different sandboxy levels, you'll come across this tall grass, and similar to the Horizon games, you can hide in it to make yourself invisible to enemies. In Horizon, this is one of the best ways to take out enemies quickly and quietly.
Luckily, I'm really good at being extremely sneaky and quiet.
Now, it doesn't quite work that way in LEGO Horizon, since you can't stealth take out any enemies, and once you shoot or throw your weapon from the grass, you've pretty much given up your element of surprise.
Aha! Heel has warned us about you!
But if you are mid-combat, even when enemies are on high alert, you can run back and hide in the tall grass, and any machines or human enemies won't be able to find you. If you're low on health or just need a break from the action to plan your next move, I found this to be a pretty useful tip that I've used quite a few times. Next up, let's talk about your focus. Once again, this is something that plays a major part in the Horizon series. Now, unfortunately, that same utility doesn't really carry over into LEGO Horizon, but there are some ways that you can use your focus in the game that make it pretty useful. For example, when you use your focus when you're battling machines, it'll reveal and highlight their weak points.
Shoot the glowy bits. Got it.
As long as those areas stay highlighted, you can target and hit those weak points much more easily, allowing you to deal more damage.
Weak spot identified.
And to make your focus even more useful, from the options menu there's a couple of settings you can update. Under gameplay, you can turn on interactables in focus and level hazards in focus. That way, when you press your focus, you're revealing those different areas that you can interact with, but also those hazard areas that you want to be sure to stay away from.
Hey, looking much better.
Now, I also changed my focus pulse button to R3 in the controller settings, since this is a much more natural feel for me having played so much Horizon. And speaking of hidden paths and secrets, when you're just out and about in the world, you'll encounter a lot of these bronze studs that mark your path. These studs are basically the game's currency, which you can use to purchase a lot of the different customizables. But when you're out walking around, be on the lookout for the silver studs. Not only are these studs worth more, but they'll also typically lead you down the path to discover a treasure chest, which will provide you with even more studs or some cool weapon power-ups.
Ooh, good stuff in here.
Now, when it comes to customizations, there are a ton of options. Once you're in Mother's Watch, your settlement is nearly completely customizable, and the settlement continues to grow as you progress through the story, giving you even more options for customization. You could literally spend hours on this if you wanted to.
That looks like 10 times more awesome now.
But not all the customizations in the settlement are purely cosmetic. Some of them are interactive and give you little animation scenes, like a simulated fight in the arena.
Let's do this. Ooh, huh?
And others are somewhat functional, like the observatory, which will actually change the time of day. So be sure to interact with all of these as you place them in your settlement, and if you notice any other ones that do cool little things, be sure to let me know in the comments.
This is a good use of my time, right?
You also get more and more outfits to choose from once you rescue Teb the Tailor pretty early on in the game.
Because who doesn't love dressing up?
But one thing the game doesn't really tell you is that you can make your own outfits by mixing and matching all the various pieces from the different sets. From Teb the Tailor, click to move to the custom outfit section and you can start to piece together your very own unique outfit. So if you want Aloy to have an astronaut helmet, bee's wings, and a pirate peg leg, you go for it. Because remember, this is a LEGO game, and if you're not running around fighting machines while looking a little ridiculous, what are we even doing here? Next up, let's talk about the community jobs. Once again, pretty early on in the game, you'll gain access to this community jobs board.
It's funny. I sort of like the drama of being in danger.
These jobs are basically opportunities to earn yellow LEGO blocks, which are used to purchase additional buildings in Mother's Watch. Now these community jobs aren't exactly jobs per se. They're more like special challenges that you'll complete during missions, or things to do around the settlement to help make it your own, like defeating a machine with a barrel a handful of times, or repainting some of your buildings. And once you complete the job, they'll automatically be checked off your list, but you have to go back to the community board in order to collect your reward. You'll also want to be sure to check back on these every so often, as new ones pop up as you level up and progress through the story. Now if you're familiar with the Horizon series, then there's no doubt you're familiar with the hunting grounds. So it's nice to see once again that this is something that carried over into the LEGO game, sort of. Once you get a quarter of the way or so through the game, you'll have the ability to go on machine hunts. These are basically special arenas where you'll fight Apex variants of machines, which are slightly stronger versions of the regular variants. There are 3 different hunting grounds in the game: the Jewel Rainforest, the Sunfall Desert, and the Snowchant Mountains. Now, unlike the Horizon games where you have to defeat the machines in some unusual way or using some specialized weapon, these hunting grounds are a lot more straightforward. You only have to defeat the machine. But once you do, you'll earn red bricks. Now, as of this recording, I've completed the main story and finished most of the side activities, and I still have yet to find any reason to collect these red bricks other than just to collect them. They don't seem to do anything or give me access to any additional level of customizables. But I could be totally wrong, so if so, and you know what these are for, please let me know in the comments. Now, unique to LEGO Horizon Adventures is the ability for co-op, both online and as a couch co-op. And if I'm being totally honest, for me, this is where the game absolutely shines. Now, I love a single player adventure, and since I don't have a lot of friends, single player games are where I live my life. But for the co-op, I had the opportunity to play online with the original Horizon gaming guru Artix, and it was an absolute blast.
Hey, I got a little hammer happy.
The game itself is just a really fun experience and is filled with a lot of cheeky humor, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. Playing as a co-op is especially fun because there's just so much to interact with in the world, and if you know someone that's a big Horizon fan, then you'll really enjoy all the different nods and references to the original series. So if you have the opportunity to play with someone, I definitely encourage you to try it out, and thanks to Artix for giving me the chance to try it out as well, and bringing me back to health after the many times I died.
We're winning this together!
Won't see me.
But those are some cool things from LEGO Horizon Adventures. If you're jumping into the game, I'd love to hear from you what are some cool things or hidden little details that you noticed. Be sure to let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.